everybody always picking on me?
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service, interests, and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Spa is steeped in history. They've been racing here for over 80 years, and it's still the driver's favourite.
Well, it's, I think, one of the most fabulous circuits in the world.
Spa's about man and machine versus the Ardennes Valley and the elements. You really have to be very brave. You have to commit and believe and trust in the car and the track and your own skills.
La Source looks like a straightforward hairpin, but it can be extremely challenging, as I found out in '98.
Coulthard in the wall. David Coulthard in the wall. They'll stop the race. They'll have to red flag this. Terrible. Look, this is quite appalling. This is the worst start for a Grand Prix that I have ever seen in the whole of my life.
Eau Rouge, and in my opinion, one of the greatest corners in the Grand Prix calendar, and certainly one of the most respected amongst the current crop of drivers. As you come up over the rise at 180 miles an hour, you literally need blind faith in your machine. Get it wrong here, and you're in for a lot of trouble.
Oh, and that is a very big one indeed. It's Jacques Villeneuve.
As you get to the top of the hill, you're doing a couple of 100 miles an hour. Come up to Les Coupes, engine is labouring like crazy.
And you may remember, this is where some German bloke got a bit confused and ran into the back of me.
Oh, God! Michael Schumacher, he's out. He's going to have it out with David Coulthard.
I think I could have had him.
Spa, for me, pure magic. Everything that seemed to be successful in Jordan's history and his career in motor racing seemed to happen here.
Fantastic!
That historic moment, Damon Hill winning, Ralf Schumacher second. For me, probably, well, the greatest day in my sporting history.
This is a racetrack that rewards you for attacking it. It pays you back if you really attack it and respect it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round number the Everything Simulated GT3 E-Series here from Spa-Francorchamps. My name's Aidan Schultz. Welcome to your platforms here. And Kobe, mate, I know you're in the background. Before we go live and get all excited, we've still got 10 minutes left in qualifying. Good evening to you, mate, and thanks for joining me and being able to do the cameras. Well, we're here for round number 13 at Spa-Francorchamps. At the moment, they're in the qualifying session at the moment. We'll bring you up into where everyone is at the moment. At the moment, Christopher Island, and we'll bring up where they are sitting in qualifying. We've got 9 minutes 32 seconds left to go. We go across to the series standings actually as Kobe does that as well. So in the Pro at the moment, Stephen Banks leading the way with 987 points over Brad Fenley, 918, Andrew Dyson with 908. So definitely everything to play at the front of the series at the moment. Looks like Stephen Banks has got that tied up, but Fenley, Dyson, Jones with 843 in fourth position is going to want to make a little bit of a headway here at Spa-Francorchamps tonight. Robbie Bradbury sitting in fifth, Chris Ireland, Tom Williams in seventh, Joshua Fitt in eighth, Ben Wilkes and Ed Foster running out your 10 in the Pro. If we go across to the YAM, at the moment we'll bring you their standings, and Jason Martin with a solid season so far, 1,027 points over Peter Pavlovich, 1,002. So Jason Martin, he's going to run his own race. We saw that just a couple of races ago where he was up there trying to fight the guys in the Pro, and he just backed off and tried to get championship points, and we see him there now with 1,027 over Peter Pavlovich. James Lawrence with 991 in the third position. Josh Micklemore, don't write off him, he's Jason Martin's teammate, in the fourth position with 974 points. Brad Cooper in the fifth position in the 093 in 948. Carl Withy, we'll speak to him tonight, hopefully. The big man, the big dog, Carl Withy in sixth in 834, and Dave Douglas in seventh. Don't be surprised we don't see Dave Douglas make his way forward tonight as well. He's currently 12th in this qualifying session, but we saw him high up in the practice session earlier. So the big D-Dog, the 10, don't be surprised we don't see him make his way forward tonight. Mark Smith, 8th in the YAM split, and Phil Bissett and Paul Drady rounding out your 10 in the championship standings. But 7 minutes and 25 seconds left into qualifying, and at the moment we'll bring up on the leaderboard if we can where your favourite driver does stand, as the M&M's car, you can't park there. So the M&M's car is in the wall, but we'll bring up where all your favourite drivers are. So Kobe, if you can do that, there we go. So Christopher Island currently provisional pole with a 2:17.768. Look how close that is with Ryan Jones, 2:17.769. Long lap around here at Spa. Very, very long lap. We're here for an hour worth of racing. So no sprint racing tonight. It's an enduro race. So Ireland, 2:17.768. And Kobe just makes that go away and lets me just try and jump across. But we'll go into the track facts tonight before we go back to that. But Spa-Francorchamps is your location tonight. Track length 7 kilometres, a long race track. It's one race tonight, 60 minutes. Fuel capacity in these cars, 75%, and 3 tyres over the wall. So they've got the tyres they start on, and they've got 3 over the wall. It's not going to be about that tonight with the tyres. It's probably 1, maybe 2 pit stops. Track configuration is the Grand Prix circuit. Track length 4.31 miles. City is Francorchamps, as I said, in the country of Belgium. Air temp tonight, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. And, air temp, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temp, 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind direction northwest. Wind speed, as you can see there, about navigating between the 1.7 to the 2.3 mile per hour, and sky conditions partly cloudy. So it's going to create good racing. We've seen what we've seen in the last 12 rounds, and what we're seeing at the moment, the pro drivers, as we're only 5 minutes into the back end of qualifying, they are setting the standard at the front at the moment. But don't be surprised, as we've seen the previous 12 rounds, some of the AM drivers get up there and get amongst it. So at the moment, Crystal Island still leading the way with a 2:17.688 with only 4 minutes and 58 seconds to go. Ryan Jones, a 2:17.769, so he's not to be outdone. Dwayne Burns there in I call him Dwayne Burns, sorry Kobe, but 2:18.225. And Stephen Banks, Banksy, he's been up the front of this series and leading, or right up the front of this series, 2:18.371 in the 4th position as well. Milan Payrak, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Kobe, but haven't really seen him much this season, and he's an AM driver, and he's done a 2:18.373, so only 6/10 off the pole setter, or the current pole setter of Crystal Island at the moment. So he's doing a great job. Andrew Schotter up into 6th, Wilkes into 7th. Dyson, he's going to be one that you're going to need to look out for. He's always going to be there or thereabouts. He was a podium getter at the last round, or probably the winner actually, and he's sitting there at 8th position with a 2:18.513. Jason Martin coming off a solid round. He's the second of the AM drivers, sitting in 9th position with a 2:18.761. And Robbie Bradbury, don't take your eyes off him in the Pro, in 10th with a 2:18.785. But 3 minutes 31 seconds to go. We thank everyone join us here on the streams of the Checkered Flag Eve streaming. But let's go to, as someone just goes into the wall, but let's go and share some love to our sponsors before we bring you everything here for round number 13. Just let's go to our sponsors and we'll bring it up and we'll set your grid for round number 13 here for Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
That thing up. Thanks to our sponsors here for the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. At the moment, as I said, Christopher Island up the front, 2:17.688. How close is that? Ryan Jones, he's going to want to try and better him at the moment with a 2:17.769. Only a minute and a half to go, so it's probably a little bit late. Who's on the fast lap? We're about to find out. Dwayne Burns there with a 2:18.225. Banksy's now jumped up into the 4th position in the 17 car with a 2:18.371. So at the moment, a whole second between 1st and 4th at the moment, so a little bit of a gap. But Spa, it definitely throws up a lot of different things, and it's going to be a long race tonight. So a lot of different race tonight than what we've seen. We've seen sprint races, two different sprint races in several races this season, and tonight we're 1 hour straight up. Who's going to be able to manage those tyres? Who's going to be able to manage those fuel? Who's going to be able to manage their car? As you see down into the tight section here, the change of direction coming on to the old main straight in at Spa. So at the moment, Island, Jones, Burns, Banks, Pyrak, Schotter, Wilkes, Dyson. It's very surprising to see Dyson back in the 8th position at the moment. One who's very, very, very quick in these cars, and he won last week. I believe he won, Kobe, and you can talk in my ear, but I believe he did. Or Christopher Island may have, but now it's showing 3 minutes 20 into qualifying left, which is So they've got the extra lap now. So we've still got 3 minutes left into qualifying. We'll see whether anyone's got anything for Christopher Island. Brian Jones currently in second, as I've said. Burnsy in third. Banks, and then Payrack. How would you pronounce that, Kobe? Payrack. I'll pronounce that, as well as the BMW gets really loose on the exit there and sees whether he's going to be able to make his way up into the field. But we'll see who that's on board now, if we can just have a little bit of a click in the BMW. So that's Carl Withy. So Carl's trying to make his way up into the top of the position. So Carl Withy, this is Spa. We'll just keep on board with him. We've only got 2 minutes 18 left. Carl Withy having a lot of good races lately here in the Everything Simulated GT3 series, and he's really done a good job. He's had some really, really good results. So on his own admission, probably not the fastest that what he would say on a 1 lap pace, but I tell you what, he can put a race together. So we'll see where this plays him out in the starting order as he makes his way through that fast left-hand corner, down into the heavy braking zone, the hard right and left here at Spa. He gets it turned in nicely, carries a little bit too much curve, gets it rotated, gets on the gas early, out of the last turn, and he's going to go down. We're going to see where Carl ends up, and I'm not sure whether it actually is out of the last turn, Kobe, to be honest. This is the last turn now, so we'll see where he ends up. So Carl Withy comes across the line, and Carl Withy still down in the 24th position. So a lot of work to do from Carlos here. So I don't know whether you want to unmute your mic at any stage tonight, Kobe, just to help me out a little bit. But Carl Withy there didn't quite get the job done. Drady going through the first turn now. He's not going to have enough time to get the lap job done. So at the moment, it looks like it's going to be Christopher Island, Ryan Jones, Burns, Banks, Pirac, Shotter, Wilkes, Dyson, Martin, and Gnodis, your top 10. We'll go to your ads and we'll show you everything, and everything sponsors us here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series, and we'll bring you back the grid here for round number 13 at Spa.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back, everyone, here to round number 13 of the GT3 Everything Simulated series here from Spa-Francorchamps. So we'll bring up your grid, and you can see it on your screen right now. Christopher Island will take the pole tonight with a 2:17.688 within the 23. Ryan Jones, Jonesy, will be at a P number 2 as we bring up your second row of the grid. Dwayne Burns in the third position in the 19, and Stephen Banks will come out of P number 4 in the 17. Out of P number 5 tonight will be Milan, Pirac, in the 6, a new driver to this series, and Aaron Shelter will be out of P number 6 in the 88. Out of P number 7 tonight, Ben Wilkes and Andrew Dyson. One to look out for tonight in the number 41 simrigs.com car will come out of P number 8. In P number 9 tonight will be Jason Martin, one of the high Pro-Am guys in the 21, coming out of P number 9, Alexander Gnostis out of the 10th in the 42. Robbie Bradbury in the 35 and James Lawrence in the 12 will get your 6-row starting grid tonight. Dave Douglas in the 10, and then Josh Micklemore in the 31 out of 14th rather. Peter Pavlovich and Bobby Camo out of the 15th and 16th position. 17th Nigel Payton and Mark Smith out of the 18th. Riley Curtis and Jamie Nankervis will take up your 10th row of the grid. And it looks like that's what we've got. 20 cars on. Brad Fenley now in the 21st position and Jake DeBetta in the 3rd. But we're about to go green. Paul Drady, Carl Withy. And we apologise for not getting through the rest, but it's a very short roll-up lap now. But we're about to go green here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. It's Island and Jones to your pole, Burns, Banks, Shotter and Prayak in the back. So we're down into turn number 1. It looked like Jonesy really wanted to turn down there on Island. He gets a run off the exit, and we'll see whether Jonesy can get the job done. Teammates down into turn number 1, the fastest corners in motorsport here, and Jonesy gets the job done. So he's taken the lead over the pole sitter at the moment. Burns in the background, Shotter, Banks up into a heavy braking zone. Jonesy's really covering off on Island at the moment. So their teammates, they're heading into turn number 3 as we go down into the change of direction. And it looks like Island sends it on the outside and he gets the job done over Ryan Jones to Island. This might be teammates here, but I tell you what, they're playing for the keeps at the moment, and Island gets the job done. There were panels banged early in an hour race, and Island wanted to lead the race. Jonesy didn't want to borrow that, and he's just hopped back into 2nd position as Shotter sits in 3rd as well, and Burnsy into 4th. Banksy into 5th as well, and Prayak in 6th. So I tell you what, everyone else was pretty pedestrian, but these DPR guys at the front, they were doing absolutely an amazing job. Who was wanting to lead that? And I tell you what, Island wanted it more, and he said, I'm going to give you a door and I'm going to go. But at the moment, this is good for Jonesy as well. He's sitting in behind his teammate Christopher Island at front, and he's going to want to use that draft. A little bit of a curb height on the outside there. You see how much curb they use on exit. They click up a little bit of that dust, and we've got an incident in the background. We'll go back to that in a minute, Kobe, as we go back onto the lead, if we can, please. And we'll go back to that. But we'll go back to that. But it was definitely hard fought from the DPR guys at the front, and we saw that from Island and Jones. But we'll just quickly go back, as Kobe just segued, and have a look at that incident in the first lap. So we go back to the instant replay here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series. So not sure who that is at the moment. Mark Johansson having a little bit of an issue. So down into the heavy braking zone here at Spa, or the change of direction. Yeah, it looks like he just caught a little bit of rear curb, and Brett Campbell involved in that too. And I don't even want to mention what they both did their own spin. But, oh, wow. Okay, so we'll go back to that. I'm sure Brett's not going to want to see that on the replay. So, yes. So let's go back to the league. But yeah, what a great start. At the moment, Chris Ryan, I was really impressed there at the start. Ryan Jones really tried to pressure Christopher Island at the start of that race, or at the start of this race rather, and he made his names known at the front. They did actually have a little bit of a door and really tried to fight for the win, or fight for the position rather. And you can see Jonesy trying really hard there. He got really wide through that double left-hander. It's very easy to do here at Spa. It's a very high-speed corner, and then this change of direction as well. So still an hour to go, but DPR 1 and 2. Shotter in third. He's still sort of sitting there in the background there and staying in contact with the leaders. I'm sort of looking to see, Kobe, where Dyson is, because I can't see him. He's sitting in 7th at the moment, so he's making his way up. So we're on with him at the moment, and you can see Dyson. He is a DPR car. He might look red and black, but he is teammates with Island and Jones. So at the moment, up into 7th, made a position. He does have Kayak and Banks in front of him as well, so don't be surprised if he makes his way forward. So 55 minutes to go, long way to go. Spa-Francorchamps here for round 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series, brought to you on Checkered Flag e-streaming. How good does this look? Let's just go on with a lap and have a listen to what these cars sound like around Spa. Well, there's a lap around Spa, ladies and gentlemen, here for round number 13 of the GT3 Everything Simulated series, here brought to you on Checkered Flag e-streaming. That's what it's like here in the virtual world. We'll go back to a crash replay. Someone's Kamagutsa, and we need to have a look. Jamie Nankervis has been involved in something at the moment, so we'll go back to the instant replay through the fast right-hander, down into the heavy braking zone here. Before they come onto the main straight, we'll see what happened with Jamie Nankervis. Caught the rears there. Everything Simulated. They are the sponsor of this series, and he drives for them, and he is facing in the wrong direction. So not good for Jamie Nankervis there. But he's just reversed there, and he'll get back on and go back again. But only 52 minutes in. We've got another replay here by the looks of it. There we go. There's another view of that replay. So good job there. Oh, and a little bit of an incident there on the exit. So unfortunate there for those guys. But back to the front. Christopher Island has gapped the field by 1.5 seconds over Shotter, who Shotter's now got the second position over Ryan Jones. So Shotter's now made that move on Ryan Jones. Burns still in fourth. Dyson now up into fifth position, if you don't mind. 1.7 seconds behind the lead of this motor race. Banksy, who's up in the championship position, sitting back there in sixth position. Ganotis now up into seventh. Wilkes, Payrack, who's dropped back from the start, and Jason Martin, your AM driver. So between Payrack and Martin, that's your AM positions at the moment. But the 11 on board at the moment is Ryan Jones in the third position. So Jonesy, he's dropped one position on his qualifying position. Shotter's got one on him, but Christopher Island at the moment making his way really up into the distance in 1.7 seconds on the field. But we know 50 minutes to go, still a long way to go. This is Spa, one of the most famous tracks around the world, and we've got Island, Shotter and Jones, your 1, 2, 3. Burns making his way up there as well, and Dyson, who was up there, and he's one of the best racers in sim racing, now making his way up into fifth after starting low in the top 10. You can see him there in the number 41, simrigs.com. He doesn't have the livery at the moment, but don't be surprised. He's going to chase down Burns and Jones very, very quickly. Don't be surprised if we see him in the broadcast booth. You can see in the background there, the purple car. That is, I would suggest, Jason Martin. Might have got to slow down through 1 and 2 and just backing off. But you can see here, Martin trying to make his way up into the podium positions at the moment. But if we can bring up who you're on, Kobe, remember our thing, if we can. So Dave Douglas in the M&M's Ford Mustang at the moment. So Dave Douglas doing a great job. Dave Douglas currently sitting in the 14th position. He's been there or thereabouts all night, all season. 12 rounds in. Different car to be able to drive, Kobe, as well. And I know you don't talk in the broadcast, but different car to drive here with the Mustang. They've only released it recently in the GT3 world, and it's a different car to drive. So good to see Dave Douglas doing a good job as well. He's been fast all year, and he's right in behind Robbie Bradbury in the Ferrari. So we'll see whether Dave Douglas, he came off not the best round last week, very quick, but didn't have the best result. So we'll see how he goes. But with 48 and 31, we will bring you up your commercials shortly, but we'll go back to, I think, the third, fourth and fifth position battle at the moment, because that's the closest on the track, and we'll talk about that. So you can see in the moment in front of you there, you got Shotter, Jones and then Burns. That is your second and third and fourth position. Andrew Dyson just in behind them as well, as you can see in that red car and the Ferrari in front. So getting really, really close here. Still 48 minutes to go. The thing I really need to stress here, guys, is this is an enduro race. So you're probably going to get about 13, 14 or laps or so of fuel. They're currently doing about just over 2 minutes a lap. So you're looking at around about 25 minutes of fuel. It is an hour race. That's going to leave us 6 or 7 minutes short, or 10 minutes short, depending on how hard you're running. So a lot to play out now. There's no cautions. Who's going to be able to create, or who's going to be able to devolve their strategy as we're on board with Josh Mickelmore there in the Mitch Motorsports cars? The strategy's all about it at the moment. Ireland is definitely going off into the front at the moment. He's not worrying about fuel. He's worrying about lap pace. Shotter's doing the same. Jonesy's doing the same. Are they going to want to back off? But in saying that, if you're 3 or 4 seconds behind the cars in front, you're not going to be able to make that back up. But 46 minutes into an hour, we've got another replay that we'd like to show you, because something's happened here. So Mark Johansson here, down into the heavy braking zone here at Spa. Mark Johansson on the outside, very, very late, and he just outshots his braking zone, and that's him done. So Mark Johansson, he's going to reverse and go into pit lane. And I believe Riley Curtis has had an issue as well. So we'll go back to Riley Curtis's issue here for the instant replay for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series. So down into the fast right-hander, Riley Curtis in the new Mustang as well. Just caught a bit of curb on the outside. Did a good job to recover that. And it's play on for Riley Curtis. So good job from him. But 45 minutes in here to an hour. I feel like I've talked a million miles an hour. I'm sorry, guys. I'm the only one in the broadcast booth tonight trying to do a good job. But I'm looking forward to bringing you the next 45 minutes. But we'll go to the ad. And all the sponsors here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa. I'll take a break for a minute and I'll come back and bring you all the action here for round number 13.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service interests and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Thank you to our sponsors here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. My name's Aidan Schultz. I'm excited to bring you all the action. We heard a little bit of an incident from a couple of drivers while we're in that little break. And big shout out to all our sponsors as we go back to the instant replay. So not sure who that is at the moment. That's Payrack at the moment. So he was up in the front of the race. He gets a little bit loose on exit, bit of a tank slapper, tries to get it recovered, couldn't get it done. He does get it done, loses a couple of positions, but that could have gone really terribly there for Payrack. Milan Payrack in the number 6, back to the 12th position, as you can see Jason Martin there going around the outside. Brett Campbell also had a little bit of an issue as we were in the ad break. A little bit of a loose tank slapper there again. It looks like what we can see, very loose. Oh, big hit there from Brett Campbell, and I don't like to see that because that's my team car into the wall, and Brett Campbell into the wall. So these GT3 cars looking like they're a little bit loose on exit, and I'm sure we've got one more that we can go through. Ryan Jones, who was up in 3rd position early in this race, and now back into 8th. So the DPR simrigs.com car of Ryan Jones was in 3rd. What happened to him here as he goes through the change of direction here at Spa? Same thing, rear, just turning around. He did a great job to keep it off the wall, gets on the inside of the track, and he'll keep going, but he loses and hemorrhages 3 or 4 spots, and he's got a long way to go. So 40 minutes left to go, a long way to go. But at the moment, Christopher Island now has extended the lead to 4.2 seconds, if you don't mind, in that Porsche, over Aaron Schotter in the 2nd position. And that is 4.29 seconds. Andrew Dyson now up in the 3rd position as well. So I did say look out for Andrew Dyson. You see Brad Fenley there in the VB car making a move as well. So Brad Fenley, he's not in for the positions at the moment for tonight in the 17th position, but he's making his way through as we've got 39 minutes to go. We'll go back to a replay for Ben Wilkes at the moment. Replay, yes. Thank you, sir. A replay. We'll go back to Ben Wilkes. So Ben Wilkes there just getting a little bit of side-by-side action through that change of direction and just gets tagged, or just tags the right-hand rear there of that PER car, and that just sends that Porsche around. So unfortunate there for Ben Wilkes, and he's going to go back into the 18th position. Being a pro driver, that's not going to be good for his championship standings. So Brad Fenley at the moment, he's right up there in the championship standings. Didn't have the best round last week or a week ago, so didn't have the best week. But Mark Johansson there in the 14th position with fresh tyres, trying to get the job done. We'll go back to a replay. Mark Johansson, a little bit of a lose there on the outside. And we might just let you go and watch the racing for a minute, and we'll come back to you shortly. Yeah.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit of a slight glitch there, just trying to sort out the audio and everything that's going on, but at the moment, Ireland's still leading the way by 6.9 seconds over Burns, Schotter, Gnostis, Banks, Jones, Camo, Camo up into the 8th position, and Shotter has gone through pit lane this time around. So Shotter, the first one to blink into pit lane, 36 minutes to go. So I did mention before we come into the broadcast, it's probably going to be 1 or 2 stops. The second stop, as we can see it now, 36 minutes left on your timing board, as you can see there on the Everything Simulated timing board, 36 minutes left to go. So if he does another full stint, 8 minutes to go, I'd suggest. I'm no mathematician, but I reckon there's going to be a splash and dash. Dave Douglas on your screen at the moment. How can you not see that M&M car? So Dave Douglas up into the 11th position, and that's Peter Pavlovich in the PER car right behind him at the moment as well. And Josh Mickelmore from the Mitch Motorsport guys, Pavlovich having a little bit of a look there into turn number 3, thinks wiser of it, and he's really close in behind Dave Douglas here. So he's going to have nowhere to go through this section of the track. He's going to try to set him up. Dave Douglas getting really deep there, a little bit of push through that corner. That's going to give him a little bit of a chance, but he's going to be on the wrong side of the road. He tries to get the switchback, can't get it done. We're going to go down into a fast double left-hander. He has a little bit of a look. He thinks better of it. And Dave Douglas just opens the steering wheel and goes, did you want to have a go? He didn't want to have a go. And they make their way through that as well. So Dave Douglas doing a great job. He just holds off at the moment over Peter Pavlovich. Peter looking really strong in that Mercedes at the moment over the Ford Mustang. But we do have a replay. Riley Curtis has had an issue. We'll go back and have a look at what happened to Riley Curtis. So Riley Curtis in the A1 Sim Sports into turn number 3 or 4, into that change of direction on the right side of the road. Just a little bit too much jandle, collects a little bit of too much inside curb, and he's facing in the wrong direction. So Riley Curtis, no damage there. He keeps going as we go back, as Nigel Payton has had an issue as well in the Witcher Electrics car. So Nigel Payton in the Ferrari. We'll see what happens here. Same thing. We're seeing a lot of that tonight. They're really, really struggling with that rear end as they turn in. So that's very, very interesting. That's probably been 7, 8 or 9 times that has happened. But let's go back to the front of the motor race, because Christopher Island leading by 7.5 seconds here for round 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series. But I tell you what, let's just keep an eye on Andrew Dyson. Started at the back of the top 10, 7.4 seconds behind Christopher Island. We know that's a big gap. We can see that. That is a long time in motorsport. We're not even halfway through the motor race, ladies and gentlemen. Burns in 3rd. Jones, who was facing backwards, is now back up into the 4th position. Banks into 5th. Bobby Camo, out of starting way down the order, up into 6th. We've still got 32 minutes to go, so a long way to go. And Andrew Dyson, don't be surprised we see him crack. Oh, big moment there for Dave Douglas as we go back to the replay. So Dave Douglas getting a lot of curb on, Dave Douglas getting a lot of curb on the outside into the sand trap. Nowhere to go. Lucky he didn't take out anyone else in the number 10 M&M's car there. Dave Douglas looks like that's his night. So we go back up into the front of the field. Stephen Banks are on board with at the moment in the number 4, and he's chasing down Jonesy. So this is the battle for Ryan Jones and Stephen Banks. It's actually number 4 and 5 on the track. Jones has made the move on Banks in the last lap. So Jones now up into P number 4, only 3 seconds behind Burns in the 3rd position for a DPR whitewash at the moment, as we've seen in the previous rounds. Banks leading the championship, or up there in the championship. in the 5th position. So he's just trying to get a little bit of points here as we're getting into the back end of the series. But one I really, really want to look out for. There's a battle I want to look out for here, and that's Bobby Camo and Jason Martin. We are going through the pit cycle now. I did say there is 2 stops and a splash and dash to the end. Bobby Camo in the 47, 2.923 seconds behind Stephen Banks. Jason Martin just behind him, 3 seconds down the road. Jason Martin, a winner of Pro-Am just recently. You can see Bobby Camo on board at the moment, and that's Jason Martin going through your screens as well. He's going to try and chase him down. So 2 different battles here. We've got Pro, we've got Am. Ireland, Dyson and Burns, your Pro. Jones and Banks, your Pro. Your top 5. Banks leading championship in the championship. Dyson second in the championship. Ireland been a class above in the last couple of rounds, but Martin and Camo doing a great job. He's had a really, really good couple of races, and he's trying to do a good job here. But Jason Martin leading your championship here in Pro-Am, he's going to want to try and chase him down. So 2 different races. Everyone here tuning in here on the platforms of the Checkered Flag e-streaming here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series. It's definitely heating up. 30 minutes to go. We're halfway in. People have pitted. People haven't. We're about to find out. But I'll tell you what, some of these AM drivers are trying to make their way up as well. But we're 30 minutes in. We're going to give you a lot of love to sponsors tonight because it's me on my own. I can't talk for an hour straight. Let's go to the sponsors and let's show some love here for round number 13 of the GT3 series here, brought to you by Everything Simulated. We'll be back with you shortly.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Welcome back here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here at Spa-Francorchamps. We're going through the pit cycle at the moment. Jason Martin, you're on board with at the moment. He is in third position. He is in the Pro-Am. Andrew Dyson, who has started a little bit further deep in the field, has now taken the lead. He's yet to go through pit lane. Ryan Jones facing the wrong way earlier as well in the second position. So Andrew Dyson there on the car in the car on screen in the 41 DPR simrigs.com car, going through the final turns here at Spa and goes across the line. 25 minutes to go. But Mark Joe, mate, good to see you in the booth and jumping up. You were racing earlier. Unfortunately, mate, not a good night in the office and not how you wanted it to be, but glad to see you up into the booth and give me a bit of a hand.
Thanks, Aidan. Yeah, it's a bit hard when you haven't got a left leg at the moment. I'm just waiting on a bit of an operation and trying to relearn how to brake these things with the right foot. And as you know, my background speedway and go-karts, and you know all too well, Aidan. It's all left foot braking with that. So it's just caught me out a little bit trying to come back to right foot braking.
Yeah, definitely hard, mate. The transition between the right foot and the left foot, especially in a GT3 car, the time it takes to make your move from the right foot down to your brake pedal there could be 0.6 of a second. So definitely a very hard thing to try and navigate in a GT3 car. And to try and elaborate on that for everyone tuning in here on the broadcast for the Everything Simulated GT3 series, this might be virtual E-Series, but a lot of these drivers drive in the real world, and as you've just mentioned, Mark, as well. So it's not just like that. It takes a lot of time to be able to transition and be able to do that. So if you can't brake left-footed, and it's different. So when you go into a pit car or you go to a centrifugal car where you need to heel and toe and use the clutch and to be able to come down, totally different to the GT3 landscape, Mark, where you can see now there's a move being made down. So we'll have a look at that before I just elaborate on that. So that move's getting done now, and that's going to get done. And Kobe, you can put that right-hand side up if you can, please. And that was Peter Pavlovich getting that job done. So just to elaborate on what I was saying, Mark, you do a supercar, you do different cars where they're centrifugal and you use your heel and toe. But in these GT3 cars, it's all paddle shift and centrifugal in that regard. So you are braking with your left foot. So, and with the amount of pressure you need to put through your foot, depending on what sim you've got, it does actually take a lot of effort. And this is an hour of racing for these guys. And I guarantee you, we're nearly 40 minutes in, these guys will be sweating.
Oh, definitely, and it also depends on where you are in the country too. I know down here in country Victoria, we can get fairly hot conditions, and I know running some of our NASCAR stuff, you end up getting out of the cockpit and saying, geez, I feel like I've just done a real race, because you do work that hard just in the ovals. So in the circuit side of things, you're working a lot more because you're moving your feet a lot more. You're turning the wheel left and right. So you do get a reasonably hot.
Yeah, you definitely do. I can say that from first hand. But at the moment, Jason Martin now in pit lane. You can see Dave Douglas, who was in that incident earlier, still in pit lane at the moment. Andrew Dyson still leading the way on your leaderboard over Ryan Jones and Christopher Island. We will go back to a replay though. It looks like Paul Drady's had a little bit of an incident, so we'll go back and have a look at that really, really quickly. So we go back to the instant replay of 29 here of Paul Drady as he makes his way down into the braking zone. What happens to Paul Drady here? Probably going to lose the rear, as we've seen all night tonight, and that's exactly what's happened with Paul Drady, and he just kisses the inside of the wall. So we've seen that as a constant thing tonight, Mark. You haven't seen the whole broadcast. But all the incidents we've seen tonight has been rear compression locking or rear locking into the corner. And Dyson at the moment at the front hasn't seemed to have that issue, and he's going longer than everyone. 20 minutes left to go here.
Yeah, that section where Paul looped it, I actually looped it on the first lap. It's just really slippery through there. The sun gets on it and bakes it and keeps it hot, and it's just gets real loose. As we are just looking at my cameras, Jones now in the pit lane, but he stopped.
Yeah, so we go back to a replay here. So Payrek with another incident, looks like. Big send up into turn number 3. Couldn't get the job done, just pinched the fronts, and he goes around. So same thing again though, Mark.
Yeah, Spa's gone through a big update in the last couple of weeks, and the track is more true to what it is in real life now. Very a lot of gravel and dust gets onto the track. So once you get off that line, as you've seen, Aidan, and we've seen in the broadcast, it gets very slippery, and yeah, you just got to be ever so gently. And again, that's what's caught me out tonight. Just coming back on and trying to learn that right foot braking.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Like, it's totally different. The time it takes you to move your foot from the accelerator to the brake, doing right foot braking, and a lot of people in the real world and stuff like that, they can do it really well. But it's really, really hard. You've got to think that you've got like 0.01 of a second to be able to make that judgment. And if you're used to braking with the left foot, it's very different. Left foot braking is definitely how you race a GT3 car, with not having to do the heel and toe with the clutch and stuff, as you would see in a supercar or something of the like. So totally different. 18 minutes 47 to go. Andrew Dyson leading the way now after starting at the back end of the top 10. Still not come down pit lane. So expect to see him come down pit lane very shortly. He's going to be able to do a one-stopper at the moment. He's not down pit lane. So he's in a really, really good position, the 41 of the simrigs.com car, and he's going to do another lap now. So still 18 laps to go, and he's still going around. 19 laps since his last pit, has not done a pit. Christopher Island, who was leading this race early, he is 30 seconds behind. He will probably be able to gain that with Dyson pitting, Mark, but he's going to have a lot longer on his tyres. So Dyson doing a great job. There you go. You're on board with Christopher Island there in the 23, and that's the gap between 1 and 2. Burns 15 seconds behind as well. So fuel strategy, a very big thing. Only 7 minutes to go. 17 minutes to go, rather.
Yeah, Dyson has to come in the pit lane. If he hasn't been in pit lane, he has to come in the pit lane this time by. Otherwise, he'll breach the racing rules. So long as you're in pit lane before that 46 or 47 minute mark on these enduros, you're safe. But he must pit this time by, or the admin may have a look at this race, and he may find himself in a little bit of trouble.
He's a wily old fox, the old die, so he'll come in this lap. So he'll just make his way around. He's got 30 seconds on Christopher Island, his teammate in second position. Dwayne Burns there in third. Jonesy, after facing the wrong way, in fourth. Shotter in fifth. Banksy in sixth. So Stephen Banks, one of your championship contenders, still sitting there in sixth, just trying to take home a bag load of points. Bobby Camo doing a great job in seventh position in your AM class. He's the leader of the AM. Oh, there's a car in the wrong direction. Not sure who that is, so we go back to the instant replay. So that's Shotter facing in the wrong direction. Put a little bit of curb on the inside of the left-hander there, and just tried to overcorrect that. So you'll see that he'll catch a little bit of curb, tries to overcorrect it, shoots him into the outside wall, and that's Shotter into the fence. And unfortunate there for Shotter, who was up there earlier in the race there, Mark.
Yeah, Shotter's a fairly new guy to the league. He's only been joined in the last 5 rounds, I believe, by memory. And Dyson is now in pit lane, so he's stayed within the rules of the competition, which is good because I can tell you now the admin hates having DQ people or handing out penalties. We just want to keep a good fun racing, and that's what this season's been about. It's been some good racing this year.
And it looks like Christopher Island's going to jump Andrew Dyson through the pits, but it's going to be different now. Andrew Dyson's going to have a fresh set of boots. So we'll see whether he can catch that 2 seconds in front of his teammate of Christopher Island. So great job there through that long stint of Andrew Dyson. Only 3.5 seconds to Christopher Island, but only 15 seconds left to go. Burns third, fourth is Jones, Banks is fifth. 15 minutes to go. Let's give another big shout out to our sponsors before we bring you the end of the race. We'll give you a couple of ads. We're sorry that we bring you the ads, but tell you what, if we don't bring you the ads, they don't bring you the race. So let's give you a big shout out to the sponsors before you bring you the end of round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back, everyone. Round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. Christopher Island, your leader, he's getting chased down 2.5 seconds now to Andrew Dyson, who was a later pitter there. It's a battle of two at the front. Ryan Jones in third, Burns and Banks in fourth and fifth. Banksy's been one of the biggest place getters through those pit stops. He grabbed 2 or 3 positions. Bobby Camo sitting in the 6th position. Jason Martin, he's actually gone down to 15th position now, who was battling for the win in the Pro-Am at the moment. Looks like Bobby Camo is going to get that job done, but Ireland and Dyson now down to 2.2 seconds. Dyson pitted really later there with 9 minutes to go, Mark Joe. Dyson pitted later, so he's got better tyres. Is he going to be able to have something for his teammate Christopher Island? We'll see how he goes. 8 minutes 45 seconds to go as they go down into the final turn. That Porsche is just in front, but I tell you what, that gap is closing visibly as Dyson tries to chase down Island there, Mark.
Yeah, Dyson has played his cards nicely again tonight, running long and having a fresh set of tyres at the back end of this race. You can definitely see now, I think you'll probably find it's nearly under 2 seconds. So Dyson will be getting the bone between his teeth and trying to really run down his teammate. A little bit of a new paint scheme there for Dyson tonight, still in the black and red car, but he's actually jumped over to the new McLaren. I'll get the word out in a minute. New McLaren yeah. Tonight. So he would have been keen to get this car on the track, but it just seems the Porsches are suited to this track a little bit better, as we see there. Dyson just run that a little bit wide and gets a bit of that gravel.
Yeah, and we've seen Dyson in the last couple of rounds. He's run the McLaren, or actually for quite a few rounds, or pretty much the whole series. He did change it up a little bit, and he did say that in the broadcast booth when he's won previously, and said he was running that car and he didn't really have the paint ready. So he is DPRsimrigs.com, as Christopher Island is as well, in front there in the Porsche. But Andrew Dyson doing a great job in the McLaren. We're now under 2 seconds between the lead of this motor race. Only 7 minutes to go. It's a fight of two. Ryan Jones now up into third. He's got the job done over Burns, and Banksy in fifth. Bobby Camo looks like he's going to take out the honours here for the Pro-Am, and he's sitting up in the sixth. Great job there for Bobby Camo, but this is the battle we need to look at now. Andrew Dyson completely chasing down Christopher Island at the front at the moment. It's now under 2 seconds, 6 minutes to go. It is Porsche versus McLaren, teammate versus teammate here for round number 13 at Spa-Francorchamps. And we'll go back to a replay as we've had an incident here, and we'll see what happens with the incident. So Kobe, just let us know what the incident is. So Payrek with a little bit of an incident down through the turn number 1 and 2, very fast section, Mark. And just on exit, little bit of a tank slapper. He gets a wobble and he's into the fence park. So easy to do here around Spa.
Yeah, he's just come through there a little bit too quick and got a bit of the ripple strip, and that's unsettled the car. And coming up through that hill, the cars get very light, and just unfortunately hasn't been able to correct it.
Yeah, very easy to do. You can catch a little bit of curb there on exit, and we've seen that in the real world, how easy it is on the exit of that to get a little bit of a tank slap. And we've seen some of the biggest crashes in motorsport through that section here at Spa, and that was no different tonight. But I tell you what, have a look at this battle heating up at the front. Andrew Dyson, he is closing that gap. 5 minutes to go over Christopher Island and Andrew Dyson. This is a battle for the lead. Don't worry about the minors at the moment. That's not what we need to worry about. We are under 2 seconds, Island over Dyson teammates. Island coming off a good job last week and having a really solid result. And no surprise to see him at the front, but Andrew Dyson, after starting at the back end of the top 10, he's making his way forward at the moment. He's going to be there to be able to fight for this win. He's got fresher tyres. It is the it is the Porsche over the McLaren, and it's DPR versus DPR, 1.2 seconds. So we've seen the last 2 laps, it's got down to under 1.2 seconds. So he's taken a second out of him in the last 2 laps. We've got 3 laps left to go. It could be a last lap battle here between the DPR guys for the win.
Yeah, I'm just gone back and looked at the Pro-Am guys. Croms are definitely going to come home first in the Pro-Am, but the battle for third is where the action is there. Although, as I say that now, Micklemore's been able to put a little bit more of a gap on Pavlik. So Micklemore will be looking for some great points haul tonight to close up those gaps to the leaders. He's actually sitting down in 4th place at the moment. So the more points Micklemore can get, the happier he will be.
Pretty good night of points. He had a rough night last week, and Jason Martin having a lot of points. Jason Martin, after as we've spoken about teammates, Jason Martin and Josh Micklemore, teammates from Mitch Motorsport. Jason Martin having a good run last week, getting the win in the Pro-Am. Not the best night tonight for him as well. He's still going to get a lot of points because he's currently sitting, I think, about 4. He's currently sitting 4th in Pro-Am, so doing a good job. But at the moment, 2 minutes 54 to go. We're now under a second. Andrew Dyson chasing down Christopher Island here for the win for the Pro here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. And we will see who's going to get it. Andrew Dyson looks like he's got a lot of speed, but we all know, Mark, it's so much easier to range up on the back of your competitor, but can you get the job done and make the pass? We're about to find out with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's a little bit different to racing on circuit than Speedway and NASCAR, where the Speedway you can, especially the sprint cars, you tend to just give the tail tank a little bit of a tap and say, hey, I'm here, I'm coming through. And same with the oval side of stuff, you just give the guys a little bit of a rub on the back. With these things, you definitely don't want to be doing that because they are quite fragile on the front of them.
And I think I need to segue into, though, like we're talking about some of the best sim racers in Australia, or let alone around the world. We're now white flag. Andrew Dyson under a second. These are some of the best operators in the esports world. It is Christopher Island versus Andrew Dyson. Under a second to go, 1 lap to go here around Spa-Francorchamps, and we're going to bring you who's going to be the winner here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa. It's 9/10 of a second, Island over Dyson. Forget about the rest at the moment. This is about the lead of the motor race. It's now nearly out to a second. Ireland just needs to put in one good lap, and he's going to bring home another win as he goes down through turn number 4 and 5 here at Spa-Francorchamps in that beautifully presented Porsche Cup car, and he comes out of the corner. Andrew Dyson still sitting he's gained a little bit. I don't think he's going to be close enough, so this is going to be a little bit of team orders, I think. Is Dyson going to have a go? I'm not sure, but we're final lap here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa, here on Checkered Flag e-streaming. I hope you're enjoying everything we're bringing to you here on the platforms across YouTube, Facebook, everything that you are tuning in for. But I tell you what, after an hour of racing, it's teammates head-to-head, Ireland versus Dyson, under 8/10 of a second at the moment as they make their way into the back end of the track, Mark.
Yeah, definitely right. It's I don't think Dyson's going to be able to close. If he can close up between the back end of this circuit, I think the biggest chance he's got is into the very tight chicane coming back onto the straight at the end of the lap.
Yeah, it looks like Christopher Ireland's got this one sewed up. He's just got a couple of corners to go in that beautifully presented simrigs.com Porsche. He makes his way into the final turns now, down into the heavy braking zone. Christopher Ireland, Andrew Dyson makes up a lot under the braking zone, but Christopher Ireland will take away round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here at Spa-Francorchamps. Andrew Dyson, what a drive from him, coming from the back end of the top 10 into the second position. Jonesy, after facing the wrong position earlier, or the wrong direction rather, earlier, he'll come home in third. But Christopher Ireland, let's just close the mics and let Christopher Ireland do some burnouts, as he just decides not to. But you can see there Ryan Jones trying to do some burnouts as well. So there we go, DPR 1, 2, 3. Here we go, burnouts. Round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa. It was Christopher Ireland, Andrew Dyson and Ryan Jones, your 1, 2 and 3. Dwayne Burns coming home fourth tonight. Stephen Banks, one of your championship leaders, coming into this in 5th position, and Robbie Bradbury in 6th. Bobby Camo, the first of your Pro-Ams, in the 7th position. Great job to you, Bobby. Great job. We'll talk to you in the broadcast. And Alexander Gnostis coming home in 8th position tonight. James Lawrence in 9th and Ben Wilkes in the 10th. In 11th position tonight was Josh Mickelmore, and we'll talk to him shortly in the Pro-Am class, and Peter Pavlovich coming home in 12th. Brad Fenley up there in the championship in Pro. Not the best night for him. He didn't have the best night last week as well in 13th, but still a big bag of points. And Jason Martin coming home in 14th. Mark Smith in 15th. Jake DeBetter in 16th. Riley Curtis 17th. Carl Withy in 18th. Paul Drady in 19th. And rounding out your 20th tonight was Milan Prajak, who had a night that was full of a lot of incidents, a lot of things. Aaron Schotter in 21st. Phil Bissett in 22nd. Dave Douglas, not the best night. He did well early, found himself in the wall, but he comes home in 23rd. Jamie Nankervis 24th, Nigel Payton 25th, Mark Johansson, who's in the booth at the moment, in 26th, and Brett Campbell 19 laps down in 27th. But there we go, Mark. There's round 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. It was Christopher Ireland coming home with your win, Andrew Dyson in second, and Jonesy, Ryan Jones, in third position.
Yeah, look, that DPR team's very strong. Every time you see them in the race, you just wonder what step of the podium they're going to be on. But take nothing off to the Pro-Am guys to be, two of them to be in the top 10, Bobby Crome and James Lawrence. So good job by them too. some good racing right throughout this series, considering we decided to throw it together and see how it works. It's actually turned out to be quite a good series, and some great racing through the year so far.
Yeah, it definitely has. It's been great racing, and we're getting to the back end of it, but we're going to crown a champion very shortly. If you don't mind, Mark, I'll let you bring up the guys into the broadcast booth. But while you do that, we'll go to a little bit of ads and shout out to our sponsors. A big congratulations, Christopher Island, again, your winner here for round number 13 of the GT3 series here, brought to you by Everything Simulated from Spa-Francorchamps, Dyson and Jones, your three. But we'll bring you some ads so we can bring the guys up and we can have a chat to all the guys that podiumed here tonight.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. It's been said, it's been run and done. We've got your Pro, we've got your Pro-Am, and it is done. But we'll start off with your third place getter in the Pro-Am tonight. It was Josh Mickelmore from Mitch Motorsports. Joshy, in the 31, good to talk to you again, my friend. Third place tonight, you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, pretty happy with that, mate. Pretty solid run for us, or for myself. Had a bit of good luck this year around here, so I've had a bit of practice the last few months around here, which sort of paid off tonight, I guess.
Mate, you and the Mitch Motorsports guys coming off back-to-back 24-hour wins and doing a little bit more in the GT3 world as opposed to the NASCAR world, as we probably know you from. Doing a great job. Of course, Jason Martin, after being up there earlier and up there in the championship, not the result he would have wanted tonight, but you did a great job there in your car and come home in third place in the Pro-Am.
Yeah, just trying to keep my own pace and be consistent and try to minimise the mistakes and hopefully get up there in the pointy end. So finished third. I think it's our first podium for the year, but pretty happy with that.
Well, I don't think it's your first podium because I think Jason got the job done, or at least up there in Pro-Am last week. But mate, a little bit of a different segue, sort of from the oval side where I met you years ago. Are you enjoying the road side? What are you doing with your racing, and are you still doing the oval side?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the road stuff, actually. Yeah, we've probably been doing more of the road stuff than the oval this year. Mainly the endurance type of racing, more so than the sprint racing. But and also getting into a bit of the open setup NASCAR stuff. I've been enjoying that. Been racing pretty hard up front, the likes of all those normal boys that show up the pointy end in NASCAR. So it's good, and it's good to do a turn right a little bit and see what we can do.
Well, if I do a little bit less commentary, I might be able to come and try and have a trundle with you again at some point. But mate, you did a great job tonight, and I'll give you a big shout out to everyone involved, mate, and we won't keep you too long.
No worries. Cheers for that, fellas. Appreciate it.
Well, big shout out to everyone involved, mate.
Yeah, and to my sponsors as well, of course, Leppy Motorsport Concepts and Zenith Custom Creations for jumping on board this year as well.
No worries, mate. We wish you the best, and good job on P3 tonight, and hopefully we see you in the series next year.
Yep, no worries. Cheers, boys.
Take care of yourself, but it goes on to second place tonight, James Lawrence. James, mate, do you have a copy? And mate, what a race. An hour race around Spa. It's not easy, mate. And to be able to come back in second position, and we've got you live on the screen at the moment, that beautifully presented Porsche P2 tonight. You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I am, Aiden, actually. I was definitely surprised with the result a little bit. Probably wasn't so confident coming into this week. Spa's not really one of my tracks, so I'll take the second place. Could have been a little bit higher if I didn't screw screw up the strategy early on. I pitted way too early and sort of left myself wide open there, so could have probably been a little bit higher, I think, possibly. Who knows? But yeah, it was a good race in the end. I'll definitely take it.
Well, a big bag of points, mate. You're only racing against the people that are around you, and you come second in class. Bobby Camo did a great job tonight, and he took the win. And you got to be happy with that, mate. So
Yes,
we're
certainly.
now round 13 at the back end of the championship. Looking to go again for the next season.
Oh, absolutely. This has been an absolutely awesome league to race in, and I can't wait for the second season to start. To be honest, let's get to the first one actually first.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But what a great presented car, though, in that Porsche. It looks absolutely amazing. P2 tonight, a couple of championship points, as you do. We're going to go into the next season. We've got the preempt to the next season, as we said. But, mate, big shout out to everyone involved, because it was a really good race tonight. And I'm probably digressing because I am looking at everything that's gone on tonight and the strategies and everything. So to be able to be there, Bobby Camo did a good job, but a big shout out to everyone involved tonight. P2, big championship bag of points. Definitely not against the faint-hearted, especially with Josh Mickelmore in third there in Pro-Am. And then, of course, Jason Martin, who was leading it coming into this round, he's going to lose a little bit of points, so you gained a little bit on him again tonight.
Yes, that's good for me that's happened, not so much for Jason. I'm not too sure what happened to him. Did he have a crash or something, did he?
We didn't actually see a crash, but there was an incident at some point, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, unlucky for him then, because he was definitely well and truly in contention for the win tonight, I think.
Well, mate, we'll wrap up the interviews pretty quickly, just because we don't want to go on too long. But big shout out to everyone involved, mate. Big congratulations on your P2. Big championship point haul tonight. Bobby Camo obviously got the win. He's not here tonight, but big championship haul, mate.
Thank you very much. Thanks to Antic Motorsports too, and the boys, Gianni, you, Aiden, and Steve, and everyone behind the scenes for the broadcast, and you too, Mark, for running the league. Been great. And I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
No worries, mate. Thank you, mate. And a big congratulations there. There you go. That was our man, James Lawrence, second in Pro-Am tonight. He come home with the spoils in second. Bobby Camo did come home in first. He's not up to join us tonight, but we'll go across to third place in Pro. Jonesy, good to talk to you, my friend. Third place tonight, you were facing the wrong direction early. That was not ideal. We did see that locking the rears was really, really consistent, actually, with all the incidents that we've had. And that caught you out a little bit in the early stages of the race, but you did a good job to recover to come home in P3.
I don't think I locked the rears at all tonight, but just the Corvette was massively unbalanced. Bit of a bucket of chum at the moment, so a bit of a shame. It's not that fun to drive, but locked into the car choice for now, so I'll just soldier on and let Chris and Daiso duke it out. Hopefully they'll shunt each other at some point and I can Bradbury my way through.
Yeah, well, Jonesy, I know that, I didn't lock the rears. It's hard to look from the outside looking in. I'm not in your car, but we did see tonight, though, that those type of incidents that you had were very similar to every incident that we had across the field. So was it locking the rears, or was it driving in too hard and sort of... I don't know. It was weird, because if you go back and look at the broadcast, there was about 6 or 7 incidents where it was very similar incidents. So, and they were different makes of cars. So, how'd that feel to you?
I haven't seen the other incident, so I can't really comment on that. But I know the Corvette at least was really low wing to be fast, and so through the corners it's just really twitchy. So if you carry too much speed, it sends you around. But that it also understeers at other corners. So I don't really know, man. It's just turn in and pray for the best.
Well, you did a great job, mate, considering that you made that one mistake, and you're a sensational driver here through the platforms of the sports, mate. So you did a great job to be able to be facing in the wrong direction and to be able to drive that DPRSimrigs.com Corvette up into the top 3, you did a great job tonight, mate. So big shout out to everyone involved.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, big shout out, Chris. Good job. And Daiso up there in P2, the king of turning up and putting it on the podium. I'll let those boys do the sponsor shout outs because that's the pain they have to suffer for winning the race.
No worries, Jonesy. Thanks for being. You're a gentleman. But thanks, Jonesy. Big congratulations, mate. You're a gentleman. But great job in P3. A big chunk of points. Probably not going to be able to fight up there for the end of it, but a big congratulations tonight, mate.
I'm 4th in the championship. Still a chance, but we'll see if we can swing into the top 3.
No worries, Jonesy. You have a great night, mate, and we'll segue across into Daiso as we have that conversation. Andrew Dyson, mate, starting in, I think you said the 8th position. Not usually in this league where you would usually start, late joiner. Great strategy with your fuel. Nearly had something for Christopher there, but not quite at the end.
Yeah, we actually went completely different strategies on fuel during the race, which I didn't know about until halfway through the race when we were sort of discussing it, because Chris pitted a lot earlier than I expected, and I said, "Oh, why are you pitting?" He's like, "Oh, I'm out of fuel." I'm like, "Oh, well, that explains what's going on there." So, yeah, he went for something a little bit different, and I just went with this sort of traditional sort of strat, and it shook out that we were pretty close at the end, so that was kind of interesting.
Well, what do you think of the Everything Simulated GT3 series? A little bit different here. Obviously, you do a lot through the oval side, and then you're one of the best sim racers, I would say, in Australia with the.
That's a stretch.
Come on now. But like doing some Logi stuff that you've done previously and stuff. How does this rate in regards to the racing quality?
Well, I think look, it's a hard one to say. Like, you can have some really, really good racing in the higher end leagues. It can get pretty cutthroat as well. It can get a bit messy. I think in this one, it's without being rude about it, it's not super ultra competitive, but there is some really good close racing. Like, for example, tonight I sort of got up behind one of the boys. I think it might have been Dwayne, and he threw a couple little defensive moves, which is all fair and good. Once I was able to sort of hang on to him for a little while, he sort of relinquished a bit. So that's kind of good, fair, reasonable racing. I like that sort of stuff. I sort of play it the same way when people come at me in those sort of higher end leagues, but generally it doesn't go the other way. It's always, if you're not blocking, someone's just passing you immediately, then they're giving you no chance. So it's a completely different sort of kettle of fish, but it is nice, clean, fun sort of racing in here without the sort of cutthroat side of it, which makes it enjoyable for us.
So tell the viewers a little bit about the strategy that you had tonight. So when I jumped in, I did a couple of laps just to sort of see, and I'm nowhere near as quick as you obviously, but just to see what the fuel drop was. I thought there would be a 2-stopper and a sort of like splash and dash to the end. When you took the lead after starting a little bit deeper in the pack than what you would have liked, you took the lead and you could go a lot longer than everyone else. So was that for you trying and hold that fuel and try and just go one to the end? It was always going to be one. I thought it would have been two, yep. But was that you try and just hold the fuel at that point and trying to set yourself up for the back end of the race?
Not really. So I guess for me it was just sort of the traditional strategy. You just fill the car, and when you get to the stop, you just put in the minimum amount you need to get to the end and take the tyres and go from there. It's it's a bit more flexible that way because you can pick whenever you want. When you do things sort of a different way, and that you optimize the fuel level to be exactly half in 2 halves of the race, which theoretically it should be faster the whole time because you run lighter the whole race. You sort of lock yourself into pitting halfway. You can't really be a little bit flexible, like I said. So that's the only real difference between what was going on tonight. Pretty much it means when someone like Chris or all the other guys that were pitting halfway go in, they then have more fuel than in the car, and a heavier car than the guys that haven't pitted, like myself, who are still going in, and Ryan. So we have the lighter car at that point. That's our opportunity to make some lap time, and the other guys have sort of got to make the most of their fresh tyre without killing it because they've also got a heavy fuel load on. So it does mix things up a bit and make it interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw in the broadcast, and if you go and watch that back, that's exactly what we articulated. So we could see that you come out with fresher tyres, obviously had a heavier fuel load with his car, and you were chasing him down, but just didn't have enough laps.
Yeah, well, once you actually come out there at the end of the race, sort of after my pit stop, once I came out, we actually had the same fuel load at that point. But then he has, so Chris, in my scenario, or our scenario, Chris had the older tyres, but I had the newer tyres. And also was able to bridge a little bit of a gap once he was out, a little further back on a heavier fuel load. So, which you don't normally expect. You would think that with the heavier fuel load and the benefit of the fresher tyres, it will equalise, but maybe Chris was just sort of hanging on to his tyres a little bit. I'm sure he can answer that.
We've also got different cars as well with the different way they drive, and the Porsche might have really liked a little bit of a heavier fuel load to stop that rear spin on the exit, and those high speed corners in Spa does have a lot of high speed corners where you need to put the power down on the exit, and that probably wanted to make his car squat a little bit more. But mate, Daiso, coming out of without wanting to pump your tyres up, starting at an 8th or 7th or 8th position tonight, it's not usually where you'd like to start in this series, but you made your way forward to the front and you come home with P2 tonight, and you made a lot of championship points on Banksy and the people around you, so you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to go. It's more just the good little bits of racing I had tonight with people like Stephen Banks and Dwayne and a couple other guys that I was racing around with at the start there. I think it might have been Aaron and James maybe. So yeah, that was, and I think Ben was right there with me too going into turn 1. So yeah, some good racing all around. That's what it's all about, and enjoyed that.
Well, mate, your time to shine. As you just heard that Jonesy said, we'll let you guys shout out to your sponsors, but big shout out, mate, to everyone involved.
I'm going to handball it once again, like a hot potato, and give that to Chris, but I will say thanks to you guys for just putting on the little show here for all our friends and everyone else to watch and have a bit of fun with. And thanks to Mark, who puts the league on every fortnight. Appreciate that.
No worries, mate. Well, there you go, Andrew Dyson, and we'll speak to Christopher Island, your winner here for round number 13 of the GT3. Everything's brought to you by Everything Simulated here from Spa, but Andrew Dyson, big congratulations, mate. P number 2, big championship points. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
We go across to Christopher Island. Christopher, mate, you've been showing head and heels above the field in the last couple of weeks, and you're up at the front again. Dyson didn't make it easy for you tonight. Yes, it was a DPR 1, 2, 3, but you didn't have your own way at the front here at Spa.
Yeah, look, it was a bit closer towards the end than I would have liked, to be honest. I made a few miscalculations before the race and anticipated that the race would go a lap less. So I did, unfortunately, was fuel limited at the pit stop instead of being tyre limited like everyone else would have been. So it was about 3 or 4 seconds I lost in that pit stop cycle, which sort of caused me to, I guess, fall back into the grips of, Daiso and whatnot. So yeah, look, it wasn't an easy one up the front. I love Spa. I could just do laps around this track all day. To be honest, it's probably my favourite track in the whole service, and with the new laser scan as well from iRacing, it just makes it even better. So as much as it was hard, it was an absolute pleasure.
Well, we'll bring up the championship points before we come into this round up on to the screen at the moment, if we can, Kobe, and we'll just get a little bit of an insight into what it looks like going into next round. So Banksy came into this round 987 points, Brad Fenley 918, Daiso 908, Jones Bradley, and then yourself 693. So you're a little bit out of the championship standings at the moment. That's a big bag of points coming into the next round. Stephen Banks coming home in 5th tonight. He's going to extend his championship lead, with Brad Fenley not having the best night, but Andrew Dyson having a great night as well. So he'll make his way a little bit further up into the championship standings with just a couple of rounds to go. But the GT3 Aussie Outlaws series, what do you feel about this? How are you liking the racing? Probably a similar question that I asked Andrew Dyson earlier. Obviously, you guys race in a lot of different leagues and some higher stuff because you're very talented sim racers. How are you finding this series?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, there's not many series around, unfortunately, that race GT3 that actually have some decent participation. So it's pretty much supercars or nothing around this joint, which is unfortunate because I'm not really the biggest fan of those things. Yeah, it's really good. I do really enjoy racing in the league. Everyone's pretty clean, even in the reverse grid races. People will give you sufficient room. They won't let you pass, but they'll give you sufficient room. And it's just been good racing overall. I think the people who do race in the series as well helps. It's not super competitive, so it's not like you need to come in here and do thousands of practice laps and then block at every corner like Daiso was saying. So look, it's just a really good league to be a part of, and really good racing all around the board, to be honest. And I think definitely building something here.
Well, I hope you're enjoying the broadcast, mate, but big congratulations. Definitely fast in that simrigs.com Porsche. And you take home tonight the winner of round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa, Christopher Island. Thank you so much for your time. Big shout out to all the sponsors.
Firstly, shout out to you boys in the broadcast. Again, put on a good show as usual. So big shout out to you boys and Mark for running the league as well, for putting it all on. What many people don't understand is these sessions cost money. As much as we've got sponsors, I'm sure Mark's probably fronting up a little bit of the bill as well. So big shout out to Mark for putting this on every Wednesday and being organised and having a full set of rules and everything. And big shout out to him. And of course the sponsors of the Porsche. We've got NP Designs, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Ben Max Mechanical, and obviously big shout out to the boys over at DPR as well. Daiso, Ryan, for coming out tonight and having a bit of a lob with us. So it was good.
Well, big congratulations, mate. It's good to see you up on the front step of the podium again once tonight. But Christopher Island, mate, we'll let you go. You're the winner here for round number 13 in the Pro class for the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. Christopher Island was your winner. Andrew Dyson in second. Ryan Jones, DPR 1, 2, 3. Dwayne Burns fourth. And Stephen Banks fifth. Special thanks, of course, to Mark Johansson, the league owner and web designer and stats. Producer Kobe Jordan. Big thanks to you, Kobe, for being able to do the cameras tonight. Of course, myself, Aidan Schultz, here in the booth. And of course, if you want to become a sponsor, interested in become a sponsor here for the Aussie Outlaws GT3 Racing, we can tailor a package suited to you. So contact us at AussieOutlawsAU@gmail.com and we'll be able to suit any package you need to be able to be a part of the GT3 series. If you want to search for us on iRacing, search Aussie Outlaws GT3 Racing. League ID is 8718. Show your support, of course. Search our socials. Stay up to date. www.aussieoutlaws.com on the web. Facebook, AussieOutlaws.com/Facebook. And then Kobe goes way too quick. But our next race is at Rudskirchen at say that 3 times quickly. Rudskirchen Motorsport Park. So
just the once is enough, Aiden.
Pardon?
Just the once is enough.
Can you say it?
Nope.
Okay, but we'll be here for the next one. But your winner tonight was Christopher Island, Andrew Dyson and Ryan Jones in your Pro class. Bobby Camo was your winner in the Pro-Am. Great job by him, James Lawrence, and Josh Mickamore in your third position. But that's your night of racing tonight here for round number 13 of the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. as I've said, it was Ireland, Dyson, and Jones, your pro winners. We'll do a quick interview with Mark, though, if we don't mind. So, Mark, GT3 series, a little bit different to what you've done. Obviously, gone through the oval world and done a great job with that over several years. Navigated towards the GT3. You've got to be happy with how it's been going.
Yeah, look, mate. You know, people say, "Oh, it's easy to run in the league," and it's not. You know, we've had some trouble this year with our oval series. I can say that the oval stuff will be back next year. Just in what capacity, we're not sure. Our GT3 calendar is all but done. Next year we'll come back in the start of February and have 7 sprint rounds and 8 endurance races. Just got to finalise the back end of the season with depending on whether we get the Bend and Adelaide. I know the Bend's been scanned, but just whether we get Adelaide also will determine the last 5 rounds of the 2025 season. So looking forward to coming back and bringing some more great GT3 racing next year.
Well, it's good to see you crash tonight, so I could have someone to talk to. So thanks for that.
Mate, I do aim to please.
Well, mate, you definitely didn't disappoint, but it was good for that. But ladies and gentlemen, everyone tuning in here on the platforms of Checkered Flag e-streaming and everyone across the networks of the Aussie Outlaws, it was Christopher Ireland, Andrew Dyson and Ryan Jones in your pro class tonight, coming home in 1, 2 and 3, and then Bobby Camo, James Lawrence and Josh Micklemore, as you heard earlier, coming home 1, 2, 3 in your Pro-Am. But that's round number 13 here for the Everything Simulated GT3 series here from Spa-Francorchamps. It's all said and done. We're going to round 14 next week. We can't wait to see you. But thank you for everyone joining in on the broadcast. We hope you enjoyed all the action, and we look forward to seeing you next week, round number 14, here on the platforms of Checkered Flag e-streaming.
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.